their side. We got to see what we can do to fix this. And then all I can do is turn around and try to explain to them in the easiest layman terms I could, like, all right, well, I don't necessarily agree with their decision, but it's their test. If you and I owned a company and, 200 times a year this happens, how long are we going to put up with it? Eventually somebody might say, we can't keep doing this. We don't know if people are trying to record questions or, I just told them, I said, personally, if it was me and probably 90% of the other people in the world, they would have given you a credit. But apparently this company doesn't have a credit voucher system set up. Their competitors do. Hopefully if this happens enough, they'll be out of business and somebody else will do these exams. But for the time being, I just talk to them like that. And if they're still yelling, I'll just be like, I understand, I'd be mad too. I think your parents would probably be yelling more than you. So I don't get offended by their agitation or their loudness. I just try to empathize. And usually if you show that you're on their side, it helps.
Okay. Back to me.
What's her name?
What's her name?
Cindy.
Oh. Impressive.
Wow. Old girlfriend named
Please.
Cindy. That was easy to remember. Lori? Okay.
Ready? Please describe your day-to-day customer service experience, skills, and abilities.
Okay, one more time, Cindy. I was thinking of Cindy. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, one more time.
Please describe your day-to-day customer service experience, skills, and abilities.
It's changed with each job I've had. I mean, the current job, we are answering the phones and responding to emails about people who are wanting to schedule for tests. We have walk-ins and pop-ins who know that they could do this all online, but they want to pop in and feel out and see where the place is. And that usually entails a little more explaining. They have a little more questions if they're actually coming in. Making them feel comfortable and that they understand and comprehend everything, even though we email every person everything they need to know. A lot of people want to talk it out and make sure they understand over the phone or in person. And then just the checking in and checking out of people who are actually there to test. That's the primary everyday functions. In mortgages and insurance, it was responding to their phone calls, what their needs were, putting together a presentation and different quotes, and going to their home and smiling real big and seeing if they bite. But it's just pretty much the same thing. It's all about, I think, the attitude and trying to get what they want and need. So.
Okay. Thank you.
All jobs have their frustrations and problems. Describe a job condition, task, or assignment that has been dissatisfying to you, and why?
I think there's always times where you think, well, if I was there, I'd do this or something like that. But I'm the type of person, I understand there's, whether you want to call it ladder hierarchy, people earn their positions and you have to respect their positions. My dad was in the Army for 28 years, so I understood and respected hierarchy. Once you earn that spot, then you can bark the commands, because you don't deserve an explanation, but most places today, people are pretty good at explaining decisions. So I would say sometimes, I've been in different organizations or classrooms, even as a student, where you disagree with how the professor's doing something, and all you can do is try to respect them for who they are and communicate the issue, and they respond or they don't, or they get offended, or but I don't usually get people get offended at me. I think I present things in a curious kind of way, like I'm just, not like, it'd really be better if, I don't come across that way at all. Really just more of exploring the topic and, hey, I wonder if you tried it this way. I noticed some of the students seem to get offended when you say blah, 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 and I think their concern is blah, blah, blah. Have you ever noticed that? And then it's just something they can think about. That's usually the way I present things. If it's something where you're putting together facts or information, hey, Student Patrol does safe walks, but we're not getting many calls. We're thinking about doing flyers and putting them all over campus and try to get more visibility for the program. Who's got ideas? You put together information, you hand it off, and they do some of it and they don't do the rest, and whether you agree or not, you have to earn that position. So that's how I would answer that, I guess.
Okay, I keep wanting to call you Doug, by the way.
All my
I did
life.
earlier.
Every teacher.
You got both the flip
Yeah.
names there.
Hey, Doug. Yeah, I'll answer. It's fine.
Okay, great. Can you describe a situation when you found yourself dealing with someone very sensitive, and what happened?
Sensitive. Well, I think I covered this earlier this morning. I hate to use the same example, but earlier today I was talking about someone who was told some of the rules and seemed offended. She had some bracelets. She had a lot of Kleenex. It was just coming out of winter. She had some reddish around her nose. You could tell she had the sniffles pretty bad or something. And when she was told certain rules, she kind of took it like she was offended. And as she looked kind of shocked and offended, then she turned to her locker, and my desk is in such a way that I could see her profile of her face, and it looked like she was getting ready to sprout some tears. I was like, all right, I need to go over there and soften this up a little bit and explain the why of these rules. I think sometimes people, when they hear the why, it's much more easier for them to understand, and they don't feel like they're being picked on. But we are only allowed, this sounds kind of funny, but they're only allowed at our place to have one Kleenex at a time. They can't have a box of Kleenex.
Gosh.
Right? So during winter, if you could imagine. So her concern was she couldn't take a wad of Kleenex to take care of, and she's going to be sniffling in there. Everybody's in here. So I told her, I said, hey, we just almost finished with winter. It's our job. If we have to come in every 5 minutes, it's not a problem. The rule is there, though, because if we don't know how many Kleenex you have, you could write answers on one and stow it away, and then the test integrity is ruined. So, oh, okay. Now she understands. And I said, the necklace, it seems kind of tried or picky, but I mean, there's different kind of accessories or earrings where they can get different transmitters in and have their phone run in from the locker. We're in the NCTA email list. We blog back and forth about all the different cheating technologies going on, and there's some crazy stuff going on out there. So every 6 months, the vendors we work with are making new rules. And the next one I hope doesn't happen, as I was telling them also, is there's this thing where they put a patch of hair over that has a transmitter under it, a lining of hair. So, I mean, what are we going to be like? Picking it up?
Is that real? Is that
Yeah.
real, or is that?
Is that real? Can I tell you on that? So I don't know
Those extensions?
how we're going to get over that eventually, but the ones we can inspect, we want to inspect. If we can take things off, we will. And some people had some that were like the friendship bracelets they've had for 5 years, and there's no way it's slipping off now. So, and they didn't want to cut it off, so we would visually inspect it, make sure that it didn't look like there was any kind of symbols or anything that could be code or any kind of cheating, anything.
Have you ever had to inspect somebody that's wearing headwear for religious purposes?
That was my
Yes,
next
yes.
question.
I've only had one myself personally. He actually had on a baseball cap, and he just had the black hat underneath, simple. And we were already told and made aware that they don't have to take it off. We just asked if we can step close and inspect it, and he was fine with that. Like he'd already been accustomed to this process, so it wasn't a problem. He didn't have any issues with it, but we've had a couple times where people said it was a religious emblem they were wearing on their necklace, and so we're fine with that as long as they let us take it. Can you hold it out so I can take a peek at it? We just have to inspect it in case. And I try to make a joke of it so they don't feel offended, but make sure there's not a camera in there, transmitter, and they're like, okay, So I try to do it in a way so they don't feel I'm picking on them or suspicious, and I'm like, hunting them down or anything.
Have you ever had a situation where somebody was extremely agitated about something like that and you weren't able to calm the situation? What if?
No, not yet.
No, okay.
No, you're probably right. I was going to say, fortunately, we haven't had any incidents. I'm not saying it's just because of me or anything, but one of the things we also try to do is I really like to emphasize as a deterrent, I point out the cameras, and I heard y'all kind of let them see the monitors when they come in too. I say, our job, we're just getting paid to sit and watch you. And I kind of make fun of it. I said, so here's your cameras, and there's a microphone there as well. You're being audio and video recorded. If there's any incident at all, we have to report it to the vendor or whoever, and they can invalidate your tests. And so we don't want to waste your money or nothing. I kind of, again, reemphasize you spent money. But so we haven't had any incidents. I don't know if anybody's pulled the wool over our eyes, but I mean, our cameras are one directly above them, and we have some on the sides as well. So if we can't quite see something from here, we can look at the side view, and we can zoom in. So far, so good. So
We have a student who would be a good test for you.
All right.
I was thinking of,
Now the vendors have sent
the
some
K
testers.
girl. Starts with her name starts with a K.
We've had some mystery shoppers. We get mystery shoppers from the vendors who are testing us out to make sure we catch everything, and we've gotten rave reviews from there. And they said on the review, the guy was blah blah. I was like, okay, that's me. I'm the only guy
Yeah, I
here.
was gonna say,
I
your
got the
office
rave
got
review.
covered in.
Yeah, so
Can
yeah, I
you
think
just proctor one exam at a time with one start time?
no, we have 15 seats in one room and then 2 seats in a private room.
But there might be 15 different tests going on.
We can, like, the one room can only be one vendor at a time, but that vendor has 6 different tests roughly. I think we're only doing 4 right now. We're getting ready to do a couple more. And then the other room, that test, we cannot have anything else going on in there while they're in there. So, but we have certain days of the week where that room is for them only. And then the other days of the week, anybody can be in there. And the days that they are reserved that room, then the private room is used for anything else. So yeah.
They also proctor big exams in big rooms, like we do for finals for engineering. So like a whole room full of people taking an exam. They do that as
So
well.
that's one test.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
the chemistry test outs we did that way.
I helped with that.
Good workout, right, walking up and down the stairs.
You've got a question?
She want me to.
If you don't have one, I have one.
You have one.
Okay, so what are your standards of success in your job? And what have you done to meet those standards?
One, I always like to see some type of horizon that we're working towards. So we have something to motivate us where we're going, and then you set up steps or ways to get there, paths to get there. And sometimes you're gonna get so far and you're gonna have to reroute it. I'm the type of person, I don't like to believe that you're past the point of no return kind of thing. I mean, you go, you learn, you trip, you turn, you go back, you work your way back, you do what you gotta do. But you're trying to have some kind of future goals that you're getting towards. And if there's no future goals, this is the perfect place than just efficiency and creating a happy environment for the customers and for the workers. If you don't have good, happy workers, you're going to be training people all the time and a lot of turnover, and I don't know how businesses do that. So maybe if you make it so like easy to do like McDonald's or something where you get just people going in and out all the time, but yeah. So my standards are just satisfying customers and the workers and working on the systems for efficiency, whatever you can do to make it the best it can be.
From bottom one or?
Yeah, number 12.
Okay. When judging the performance of others, what factors or characteristics are most important to you?
Well, I'd say I don't judge others. Tests do that. That's what testing is for. You just create.
If you're in a supervisory role.
You have to critique people sometimes.
That's why you have to have an easy to identify what your job is. Categories that your performance and what you're doing, and then you can review that and see if it's not working. What can we do? Why isn't it working? Most of the places I've been have had like 3 strike policies, but one of the things we worked with a lot in OLS, I thought was funny a lot. I don't know how many times you heard students say this, Alex, but in work groups, a lot of the times when scenarios happen, a lot of people were quick to say, "I'd fire them." And it's like, really? Well, yeah, obviously you haven't done that yet, because then this is an opportunity for improvement. That's what you got to look at. The conflict management class, did you take that one?
It's a lot more money to rehire someone than it would be to help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On my first day of the conflict management class, she went around the room and asked everybody what we thought that was, and I said, conflict is an opportunity for improvement. And on the last day of class, she basically repeated that.
Yeah.
That was kind of the summation of the book, but that's the way I look at things. How can we make it better? And then what kind of standards do we have for the work we're doing? And if some people can't do it, don't want to do it, or don't like it, then we can be family and be on their side to help them find something that'll make them happy.